Hey guys, welcome back to vulcanarmoryprops. It's Kyle, and it's week 4 of our Titanfall 2 Pulse Blade pilot build. I got a lot of stuff done this week. I got a lot of stuff started, I got a lot of progress, and it is great. But first, I'm going to show you the new stuff that I did. So coming right over here, I started working on the forearms. I got both of them done, at least for the bases. I'm just sliding on myself really quickly. There we go, right here.
Shutterstock music.
Trying to get more view of that. I'm going to shape it a little bit more, bend it a little bit more, but I'm trying to get the other stuff on it as well. It goes up a little bit further. There, something like that, a little bit further up. Well, this is one of the main reasons why I got my 1/4 inch foam, because the pieces needed to be thinner. So it's 2 layers, and I had some details to add on. These holes here, they don't go all the way through. I just used the drill press. It turned out fine. It was a fun piece to make. I was actually looking forward to build the forearms. It has a lot of cutouts and stuff like that. These are where the strapping for the forearms are going to be. I actually need to 3D model and 3D print kind of like the connector piece. I already have the hardware and everything I need to do for that. There's some other things. So there's some extensions, some fabric stuff that goes on. So this part here is gonna just go. It's essentially gonna go. It's gonna look like this. So looking at it from the side, this is kind of what it looks like. But one thing I really want to do in that, so it's 2 layers of craft foam. This is about 4 millimeters thick. It was this cutout here. There's a couple different ways I could have done this. It was raised, so I had to figure out what I want to do, and it was really set up for me. So with this being the cutout layer, this was softer, so I just heated it up. I just kind of used something round. I have this Sharpie here. So after I heat it up, I just laid it flat so it was flush with the surface. And then I just pressed down along the surface here, like so. Then I did that, heated it back up a few times. So it actually has this little bump, this little curve, which is perfect because you can tell by the reflection of the light, which is all I need. And I really like how that turned out. Okay, so those are 2 of the armor pieces that are new. So there's clearly some more work that's gonna be done. So by the end of the week, I should have, actually probably by the end of today, I should have those completely done. As far as the bases are concerned, guys, I got a lot of progress done on the back kit, and it looks amazing. And I'm gonna show you that right now. Look at that! I gotta sit on this chair. Look at that! It is glorious. Look at that. Look at that. I think the last week, last time I talked about, I only had like 1 strap made. Now I have 2 straps made and they're attached. And then I got the bottom straps built and attached. I got this bottom flap, and I got the tactical armor plates built and roughly assembled, which is great because I can actually take these apart and go through how I did this. So as you know, this strap is the same thing as this one. The bottom straps are a little bit different. One thing I needed to add, which I almost forgot about, was just kind of this bottom flap here. It would just look too flat at the bottom, and so I just added that. It's using the 1/4 inch foam, just curved the edges a little bit, gave it a little bit of a bevel, so it would just sit at an angle, or it was boring. And then it had this bar, and I needed to kind of change up the colors too. So I had this leftover like sandish tan fabric. It's kind of that cross texture as well. We have to talk about these 3D printed plates. All of these pieces here were modeled by me in Autodesk Inventor. So there will be some parts that are going to be glued together and some. Okay, so here are all the pieces for the back plate here. So one thing I really needed to focus on was as little material as possible, as well as optimizing the amount of space, open space I have for wires and batteries. So it's really 2 things, and they really go hand in hand. The thing to do was to really just create the overall shape and then turn it into a shell, which is basically something like this. It's just open space, and these slots are for this next piece to slide in, and this is just all open for just to use maximum space, ruining the aesthetic, So this way, this hall's gonna be completely covered up, and and more room. So I'm using as little material as possible, and for wires and such. So then this piece goes on top, and that sits right on top. This one I'll show you. So there's a slope here. Again, more space for just wires and stuff to come through, and also just taking out as much material as possible. Saves time and money. These holes on the side are for these right angle arms are gonna make for those discs that are on the side. These holes are here. These are actually just slots for keys, and you'll see on this piece, print out these little connectors here. And what this one is, this is actually a hole for a magnet, because on the other side, there's gonna be a hole for the opposite end of the magnet. So it's gonna go down, it's gonna attach onto here, it's magnetized. So this piece is gonna be removable from this. And the reason why is that with the last piece, this is sort of our diffuser. And if you remember, if you look up the Pulse Blade Pilot character in the game, he has these slots and they light up. Now I'm gonna pretty much show you how this all assembles. So we have this here. Your loft piece faces upward. This is the upside. So just like that. And then we have our
Shutterstock music.
There we go. So it's just like that. This is what it looks like. There's a lot of open space, which is great for holding certain LEDs in certain places, or holding all the wires. But you can see all this open space here. It almost looks weird on the other side. But this top cavity right up there, 2-cell doubly battery holder will fit perfectly in there, which is really all I'm going to need. Pretty much optimize my space as aesthetically and geometrically as possible. Another thing I had to account for was the bottom plate. As you can tell, it's different than this one. This one is full, this one is not, because of this ridge here. So I had to basically account for that. This is basically measured to the 16th of an inch here. So there's enough room that for just a little bit of flexing, it's not going to cause an issue. It looks fine, and that it lays nice and flat on top. And I really, honestly, I don't think I could be any happier with how these turned out. Alright guys, so I hope you actually enjoyed that a little more than the other ones this week, because I actually got a lot more done. Hopefully by the end of the next week, or by week 5, I'll have the discs done, the forms will be ready, possibly even plasti dipped. I still need to get that helmet done. Probably something I'm going to try and get done within the next week to 2 weeks. For now, I'm just really trying to wrap up the back kit, really wrap up the forms, and then I can start the legs and the jump kit. Really hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. It's a lot. It's fun, guys. This suit's awesome, and I have this feeling with everything I'm making that it's gonna turn out better than my IMC pilot from the first iteration or first game. Until next week. Enjoy your week. Alright guys, see you next week.
All eyes on me in the club. See 'em all looking at me, fiending to touch. Top dollar lady, baby T is what's up.